yeah, I'm now gonna get involved in a Singalian fight, which is obviously not great, is it? Hello Reformers and welcome back to Pendor. Now when we left off, we were all the way over here at Ishkoman attempting to find the potion vendor, Phineas, and maybe brother Randolph as well, just to see what they both have on them and see if we can make use of them, of course, and make use of our Qualis gems, which we still miraculously have on our person, because generally I would say that I'm very, very susceptible to being taken prisoner and having my inventory absolutely pilfered and, you know, all kinds of wonderful things being stolen from me. But this time around, actually, that's not happened, which is actually pretty good. Anyway, as you can see here, we are currently, and by we I mean the Kingdom of Sarleon, are currently embroiled in a really large battle, and we're going to do what we can to assist them. So let's have a look here. We're going to move in to help Duke Alamar. As you can see here, it's kind of one-sided, but I decided to go and help our marshal because I was actually having a look at our quests, and I just noticed that there was a marshal request that we go and join him about 2 days ago. And well, then I happened to notice that there were a couple of vassals actually making their way up here, and so I followed some of them, and they led me to this battle. So we are now obviously going to participate in it and see how we do. Hopefully we'll be able to get a good amount of experience, because personally I feel like once we have, well, I guess, you know, drunken those potions, we are probably going to be in a position to get a good amount of power draw. And that will give me the opportunity to then use the fantastic Noldor bow that I have in our inventory, just waiting for that time when we have 6 power draw. And yeah, then hopefully we'll be able to rain down death and destruction once again, how we've always done in Pendor in previous series. You know, I've always generally gone for a bow, and yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Now, let's just hope that I will be able to succeed in this battle here. They seem to be... Are they actually listening to me right now, or is it just... I don't think they're listening to me. No. No. I think it is literally just my very small contingent of units. As you can see here, right here, we have literally 13 on the battlefield. And there's the enemy. And we have a huge amount of Larian Sentinels by the looks of things. Okay, that's actually going to help us out a great deal. Let's see if I can do some damage here. Bear in mind, I have my new lance at the ready, and that is obviously going to be really nice to use. And I'm getting shot. Obviously, I am very good at getting shot, aren't we? Let's see if I can maybe do a little bit of damage to this guy. This is not going to work. That's also not going to work. Apparently, Jarl Hakon Stout Shield had my number. He certainly did. Wow, that was actually kind of disappointing, because I thought to myself, yes, I'm going to lance someone, and I actually did lance someone, but unfortunately it wasn't, yes, it wasn't more than one person. And bear in mind, oh yes, there was actually a companion in the tavern at Ishkoman, and that fellow was Sir Rain, and I asked you at the end, yes, at the end of that episode, whether we should actually recruit him, and a couple of you said, yes, we should recruit him. So that's exactly what I did. He cost 5,000, and that's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap for a decent enough unit, but saying he's decent and then having him die in the first wave or so, that was probably not the greatest thing ever. But yeah, I'm actually partially thinking maybe we should just retreat here and come back in, because I don't really want to lose all of my units. So I think I'm actually going to do that. There we go. Let's do it this way. It's going to be a little bit easier for us. And this time around, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to be one of the first in. That's usually a surefire way to get yourself killed. And yeah, we'll be a little bit more cautious. Alright, so here we go. We have a cavalry charge on our hands. And, well, thankfully it's not the enemy's cavalry. And the Sarleon Knights and the Knights of the Lion, as you can see right there, doing a really, really good job. Speaking of a good job, we actually did take out a Vanskiri Jarl. Actually, 2 of them. We took out 2 Vanskiri Jarls right there, one with our lance and one with our wonderful Singalian masterwork blade. And, well, it's always nice to see that we have leveled up and gained some good experience from those kills. Now, I'm obviously going to be a little bit more cautious this time around because obviously getting killed a second time is going to be very detrimental to our future, I guess, presence in these series of battles. So it would be kind of nice for us to not have any further demises, I guess. So yeah, let's see if I can actually get a couple more kills as well, because obviously experience is always required. And yeah, I don't know whether you've noticed as well, by the way, but I've left most of my units back at the spawn area because I don't really want to have those guys coming in here and dying, because I don't actually think that the Fierdsvain, who we're currently in battle with, I don't really think they have that many prisoners. And so I don't even know whether they'll give us access to those prisoners really, because we are just a mercenary. So it might just be that, you know, the main guy, you know, the Duke Alamar fellow, or maybe even, you know, some large vassal in the battle is probably going to get dibs on the various prisoners that we might be able to rescue. Oh wow, that is so fantastic. Did you see that? That was pretty crazy. The reach on this weapon is fantastic, and I think I might actually die again. Am I going to die again? No, I think I'm okay. So yeah, again, let's just continue to be a little bit more cautious than running into their actual spawn area. That was not particularly good, but we do outnumber them heavily. And actually, you know what? Speaking, it's kind of weird. I just got reminded when I saw that, was it a Ranger of the Clarion Call? It might have been a Ranger of the Clarion Call, but I was just reminded that Lethal Duran is actually not with us for some reason. I'm actually unsure why he's taking so long, because I actually told him to go and spread the word about, yeah, I don't really mind dying at this point, but the point is, I told him to spread the word about, you know, our cause and, you know, hopefully earn a little bit of right to rule in the process. And it doesn't seem like he's going to come back. Not entirely sure what's going on with that, because he's been away for quite some time, and it's getting a little bit worrying now, because I don't exactly know whether he has, you know, bugged out a little bit, or maybe he's just taking his sweet time, because I think it's easily been more than 2 in-game weeks. I think it has. I mean, I know that we've been doing a lot of fighting with the Jatu, and I know that we've obviously been doing some fighting with the Noldor as well, and that generally does not advance time in the game as much as running around and doing errands and, you know, various quests for the vassals and lords and so on and so forth. And yeah, I know that it doesn't obviously consume that much time in comparison, but I would have expected him to return by now. So I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried about that, actually, because even though I would very much love to have him return just for the right to rule, and obviously to have him as a companion with us once again, it would also be a great boon for us to have his people's units, because obviously he's basically going off to the Noldor right now and saying to them, hey, so you know, I'm kind of exiled right now. This is him speaking, obviously. Would it be okay if I borrow a couple of units for Mr. Beartild? And I think that would be kind of nice. You know, that would be kind of nice. And yeah, obviously he's trying to spread word about how we would make peace with the Noldor in the entirety of Pendor, and then everyone would be all very happy about that, and so on. But yeah, it seems like we're actually doing pretty well so far. I mean, you know, it's kind of to be expected now, because obviously the Kingdom Sarleon do outnumber the Fierdsvain by a significant margin, by 3 times as much. So it is pretty much a foregone conclusion who's going to win. However, the Fierdsvain are putting up a massive fight at the moment. You can see here, just by the casualty report, that these Fierdsvain berserkers are going to town, and even the Valdis Huskarls, they're even doing an amazing job themselves too. So it's actually really quite a testament to the Fierdsvain's strength and their ability to basically get a really nice kill-death ratio. Because if you think about it that way, you think about how many people they're actually able to kill right here, and then you think about if the Fierdsvain had the same amount of units that the Sarleon kingdom has at the moment, you're going to be in trouble. If they had the same amount of units, yeah, that's going to be very, very difficult to defeat. I mean, you can see here already on the casualty report, we have 180 casualties, and the Fierdsvain have only 262. And that's not that much more. That is not that much more, so it's kind of surprising to me to see that, even though we had a massive battle advantage due to our numbers. I mean, I think we had 3 battle advantage, which should technically mean that we have it in the bag, basically. I mean, it's not a plus 15, obviously, but it's also not a 0 or a minus 5 or anything like that, so having a plus 3, that basically assures you a decent enough victory. But this time around, they're making us pay for it. They certainly are. Alright, so I've just been watching the bar in the top right of the screen, and the red has been diminishing, because of course that is our enemy forces, and well, we only have 35 of them, actually 31 of them remaining now, and it shouldn't be too difficult for us to eliminate those, but they're being kind of sneaky. As you can see right here, they're kind of hiding from our archers' focus by going down into the riverbank and using that as cover. I don't exactly know whether they're really using that as that much of a strategy or a tactic, because, I mean, it's Warband AI. Even though, you know, Pendor, they may have done some things to the AI to improve it in some ways, but in general it's still Warband AI, so they're still going to be a little bit dense when it comes to using those kinds of strategies, but it seemed to actually work pretty nicely for them if they actually did do that on purpose. If they were just doing it by mistake, then that's a very lucky thing for them. Anyway, in this battle I was actually able to get 9 kills. I should have been able to get much more, obviously, but I was entering this particular round with a vastly deteriorated HP, because obviously I died pretty easily in the previous round, so that's not great. But anyway, King Ulrich is actually a member of this particular band here, and he got 4 kills. So we beat him by over half, which is pretty nice, and we are also now gaining some relation. Very nice. Oh my. This is pretty crazy. Okay, so we now have the opportunity to take the king of the Fierdsvain prisoner, and I think we're going to do that. And you know what? I think I'm going to let everyone else go, because that is obviously going to give us a good amount of honor, good amount of relation and everything, and the main reason why I'm taking the king prisoner is so that I can maybe get his unique weapon, or maybe, I'm not entirely sure whether they are, I don't think they possess Qualis gems. I think that's just limited to the unique spawns. But anyway, we're going to ask him about that in just a second. Anyway, I'm going to allow this guy to go, because honor is much more important to me at the moment, even though being able to take all of these guys prisoner would vastly weaken the Fierdsvain, but I'm primarily doing this literally just for my own selfish benefit. And that sounds really bad for me to be able to do that, and indeed, you know, try to do that and just kind of prevent the Kingdom of Sarleon from gaining such a huge advantage. And it would be a huge advantage for them to have, what, 5 vassals? Yeah. Fierdsvain would have 5 vassals off the field, and that would be insane for the Kingdom of Sarleon. But we have to think about the fact that we are going to be creating our own faction. I don't know whether it's going to be soon, but we are going to be creating our own faction at some point, and having the Kingdom of Sarleon own, I don't know, half the map or 75% of the map, or, you know, whatever the case may be, at the time of creation, that's not really going to be a very good thing, is it? It's going to really put quite a damper, quite a, what is it now? Quite a spanner in the works, that's it. There you go, that's the saying. And that's not going to be very good. No, it's not going to be very good. Anyway, we are, actually, wait a minute, I did want to improve my charisma a little bit more, didn't I? So if I go for another point in this, then the potion will give me +2/+2. As far as I'm aware, the first 2 consumptions of the Elixir of Archon will actually give you +2 to all stats except intelligence. So if I increase this to 14 and then take the potion, that will increase our charisma to 18, and then, well, we'll have a pretty good time of things. So I am actually, you know what? I'm actually not going to spend this skill point. Personally, I feel like this skill point could be better spent into power draw, into leadership, into something else that is obviously going to be improved once we have taken the potion. And amusingly enough, I did actually check with the Traveler before leaving Ishkoman once again, because I had to obviously wait there for some time because I was still a little bit injured, and he still told me that he was in a bad place, basically. Yeah, he still said that Phineas was in Ravenstern, and he said that Brother Randolph was in some unknown hidden outpost, so that's great. Anyway, we're going to now be actually visiting... we're going to be visiting Lady Sonadel, because we kind of need to. There's only, I think, 9 days left on her task, so it would make kind of a bit of sense to do that. And technically we could get married to her right now, but I think we are going to have a couple of issues with her father, and maybe with her brother as well, because obviously we're not a vassal. And there it is. Oh yes, I did actually neglect to mention that we were at 98% in regards to reading the Noldor book that we started reading a couple of episodes back, and there it is. Our relation with the Noldor has improved to 31, which is fantastic. Now, of course, once we complete the Jatu... oh yeah, I didn't speak to Duke Alamar. Well, that's great. So Alistair is kind of annoyed now. But anyway, once we have defeated the Jatu army, which I'm actually hoping to do with the assistance of a certain Lethal Durin. I'm not entirely sure why he's being so... well... weird about it, because he's actually not appearing at all. I don't exactly know why he's not coming back, but hopefully he'll come back pretty soon, because if he doesn't, then we might be in a little bit of trouble, considering he's such a fantastic companion, and I'd like to utilize the Noldor warriors that I think he might bring back with him. So I think that would be kind of nice. Anyway, let's go into the tavern here and see if I can maybe find another traveler, maybe to ask about... it's a mercenary Highlander. I think I might actually like to take a couple of those. I think they're pretty good, usually. And there's actually a tournament going on here. Now, do I want to do this tournament? I mean, it's a Sarleon tournament. It's going to improve my relation with, obviously, the Sarleon town. It might make sense. Well, I'm at 37% HP right now, so I'm just going to rest a little bit, and then we'll see whether we actually do decide to do it. Now who do we have here? Oh yes, we have one of the linchpins of our future plans, basically, because if we don't have this guy, then we really don't have anyone, because he is our medic. And as you can see, he says, "My father, a merchant in Marlians, had me educated by our finest scholars. I spent all my time poring over books and scrolls under the tutelage of the abbot there. I didn't realize that the ultimate goal of all this education was my indoctrination into the clergy. When the abbot let that slip, I packed up what I could, left my father's house, and am now in search of more manly pursuits. I have no intention of being a priest, but shall learn to be a knight. No more books for me. I am going to join a band of adventurers or a troop of mercenaries. Well, as a matter of fact, I run a mercenary company. Please be a medic." Yes, and he joins for free. Isn't that fantastic? That's really great. Okay, and we also have 2 other people that are very, very useful for us. Phineas is now once again in Torba. And Brother Randolph is at Singal. Wow, that's pretty interesting, actually. I'm going to sell my prisoners for 1,500 right here. Going to take a couple of these young Sarleon nobles. They can become adventurers and then hero adventurers eventually. I'm not going to be taking Alyssa right now. Alyssa tends to have problems with a few people, as far as I'm aware. And speaking of people having problems with other people, Sarrain is kind of annoying everyone. He's annoying Frederick, and I believe he is also annoying... is it Donovan? I'm not entirely sure, but he's being annoyed by basically everyone, so yeah, it's not great. Anyway, I'm gonna... oh, I didn't even know that was a passageway. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. The entire time that I've played Pendor, I've literally always gone around, and maybe that was a recent addition? Maybe that was a recent addition. That probably was. Anyway, let's go into the tavern here, and hopefully... Hello, Brother Randolph. What else do you offer? So he's the fella that shows where the mines of Al-Aziz is, but what else does he have? He's a book merchant, so I guess it would probably make sense for us to buy a couple of these. I have enough money, easily, to buy the other Noldor book. And that is exactly what we're going to do. And I also should probably buy this as well. This is a book about gaining leadership, as far as I'm aware. This, I'm actually unsure about. I think probably persuasion, I would assume. That's probably persuasion. What is this? Engineering, maybe? And this is just obviously wound treatment. The high arts, I have no idea what that is. Well, I'm sure some of you know, so if you want to let me know, then by all means, you know, leave it down in the comments. If you don't, then that's absolutely fine as well. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. Anyway, there is actually a farmer here. Should we take his quest? I mean, it's going to give us honor, so that is kind of useful. And, where is it? Yasin. Oh, it's over there. Well, I don't have time to spare, unfortunately. We're going to go and try and save the village of Yasin at a later point. And Anson has just leveled to 2, literally from our trainer skill. That is hilarious. He's very low level, but it's kind of nice because we then get to mold him into whatever kind of build that we want him to have. Okay, so there's Sir Jocelyn. You know what? I'm actually going to take him too, because it seems like we've got all the Sirs and they're all annoying each other. And there's a D's. We can say welcome back to him. I think he left us a while ago and he didn't really like being with us. And Phineas has left, as you can plainly see. So I am kind of annoyed now by that traveller, because he told me incorrect information. Well, no, I'm sure he was there at the time, but my very, very small, you know, travelling over there certainly gave them enough time to move on. And yeah, I'm now gonna get involved in a Singalian fight, which is obviously not great, is it? Okay, let's get to the top of this hill right quick, because if we're unable to do that, then I think we're going to be in some trouble. Because these Singalians are also going to be rushing to the top of the hill. And maybe not? Oh, they might. Well, if we are unable to get to the top of the hill, then we are going to have a pretty bad time of things, because they're going to just crash down upon us. It's not going to be very good. So let's see if we can actually make this work. I have 45 infantry, which is pretty crazy. Let's tell them to actually stand closer a little bit here. We are going to need them to stand closer. This is very strange. I'm actually kind of weirded out by what the Singalians are currently doing. As you can see, they're currently running around us, which is kind of strange. But anyway, let's try and take out one of their... Yeah, that's not going to work. I'll just use their weaponry against them with my Singalian masterwork blade. If I can actually catch up a little bit. Oh, thankfully they don't seem to do that much damage. But they have huge amounts of blades, huge amounts of bows and everything, so that's a bit weird, isn't it? Okay, so let's tell my infantry just to charge in right now. I don't exactly know how it's going to go like this, because let's face it, they seem to be an even more annoying version of the Kurgit Khanate, and indeed of other mounted factions, because they seem to just run around each other all the time. But hopefully we will not lose anyone too important. And I'm actually wondering... I don't want to actually say that right now. Yeah, I don't want to actually say that right now, because that's gonna jinx it. That is literally gonna jinx it. And maybe me just thinking it is gonna jinx it, but we'll see. We'll see. I think you know what I was about to say, so let's not jinx it, shall we? Let's just let's stay a little bit quiet about that particular thing / unit. I don't know whether you know what I'm talking about, but if you do, then I'm going to tell you afterwards. I'll tell you after this battle, and we'll see exactly whether we were thinking the exact same thing or person that I didn't want to die. So that's why I'm not mentioning them. If we still have them in our army, I don't exactly know whether we do. We're actually losing a huge amount of units right now. It's kind of unsettling. It's very unsettling, actually. Yeah, this is pretty bad, actually. I think I might have to retreat from this. This is really not good. They have a lot of Singalian Temptresses, and that is exactly the reason why they are doing such a good job. You can see here. I guess I'm just going to have to retreat. Didn't really want to have to do that. I think we would win, but I kind of have to make the most of it. Everyone is annoyed at me retreating, which is to be expected, I guess. But they just have to understand that sometimes it's much more important to fight another day than it is to just lose your entire army and then just recruit again. So I guess anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. Next time we're hopefully going to have to track down Phineas. I don't know why he's being so slippery. Brother Randolph certainly wasn't. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.